Hey everybody, welcome back to another X-Plane 11 stream. We're on the ground here at Exeter, brought to us by UK 2000. We're going to do a short flight. We're going to head up to Cardiff Airport for a nighttime flight, something a little bit different. As you can see from the weather, we have broken-ish clouds, about 4,000 feet, wind speed about 2 knots, nice and calm. So, not quite sure how this video is going to turn out because it's quite dark, but we'll give it a bash. We are running the fantastic Orbx True Earth Great Britain South. And I have to say, this UK 2000 scenery really works well with it. It just integrates very well. So we have world traffic up and running as well. So we'll try not to make a hanes of it as we hop in to the Just Flight Archer. You can't really see it. We'll turn on some lights. Essentially, this is the only Just Flight aircraft I didn't own. Get our music down there. As I was saying, this was the only Just Flight aircraft I had yet to pick up, and I don't know, it's when I saw it coming out, I was like, oh, another Piper, really? Another PA-28. But I have to say, so far I'm liking it, and the night lighting in this aircraft is probably one of the best you can get. That's why I wanted to do a nighttime flight. So bear with me there, we get some lighting up. Pretty, right? So, I'll get some lights turned on here just so you guys can see what's going on. And I can see what's going on. So, weight and balance. Have a quick check here. We have our wonderful menu. 39, 34. Get this guy down a bit. Just ourselves. That'll do. Okay. So our plan is, we're going to start the aircraft, we're going to taxi out runway 26, do our departure from there. As you can see, the subtle differences between this Piper versus the other ones, it's a lot newer looking, it's more modern. They've based this on a design, I think, that came from the early 90s, rather than something we'd say from kind of the mid 70s. So it does look the part. And I have to say, it's nice to fly. It's slow, but it's nice. And they've integrated the GTN here from Reality XP as well, so that's always good. So to get ourselves up and running, I use the Cytec switch panel, but you'll hear me flicking switches, and you'll see kind of stuff moving here now as well. So what we're going to do, you have a primer on this as well. So turn on me mags. So you have a fuel pump and a primer, so I'll go with the fuel pump. Mixture is now to rich. Open the throttle. Fuel pump off. Primer goes to on. All looks okay. Open a little window here. Clear prop. Good start in our engine. Alternator can come on. Bring our avionics on. Close a little window here. Alright, have a quick look what's going on. Keep our fuel pumps on. We have all these cool little tester buttons all around the place. We can turn on our traffic watch system. So, our flight plan. We're going from here. Actually, I'll show you on Plan G. So we're here in Exeter. We're going to be heading up to a waypoint here. How do we appear this one for you? Up to Rotlu, and then we'll be turning left. We're just before Bristol. Turning left and straight over to Cardiff. That's the plan anyway. So we'll get this set up. So our first waypoint is going to be ROTLU, and then over to Cardiff. Cancel that, have a look here, make sure our plan looks right, which it does. That's all looking good. If you guys ever wanted to fly this route, Glastonbury, the famous Glastonbury, it's about here on the map. I'll do another flight when we're in daylight hours. This switch down here, this brings power to your autopilot unit. We'll go through all of this once we get underway. Set our transponders, and our bits and bobs can come on now over here. We'll just use a fictitious one. You should turn. Don't know why that's not moving. There we go. Okay, so we'll try that again. Let's try that again. Enter. So we'll go 2201. It just sounds kind of cool, doesn't it? So we'll turn that to on at the moment. Keep our fuel pumps and stuff on. This little button down here gets rid of the sound of the old engines, but I think they sound alright. We'll leave them there. Make sure we're all set up here before we go. Okay, cool. Now, there is a setting I haven't used for ages, and I don't think I've used it in any of these videos, but when I use world traffic, the biggest bugbear I have, I'll either take off or land on an airport with oncoming traffic. So I've binded or bounded a key to it, so you can open a little ATC menu. So basically what it's saying is I can request a runway to taxi to. So I've just said, listen, yeah, I want a taxi to runway 26. So that's just clear my path. Even though we have aircraft down here moving, we should be okay. So with that said, get some lights going on here. Leave our strobes off for the minute. Pitot is on. Lean our mixture here just before we go taxiing. You'll see our EGT rising here. Okay, so off the brakes. Have a quick look around, make sure we don't fly into anybody. So we want to spin around here to the left. Let me know how it's all looking here, guys, on the stream. It looks fine for me. Like it's. So with this aircraft, as I said, it was the only Just Flight aircraft I didn't pick up, and I was saying, look, it's only another Piper. Like, we have plenty of them. We've seen them before, and I have to say, I'm delighted with it so far. It's fantastic. Really, really fun plane. And there's our traffic watch. I haven't a clue how to work that yet, but it sounds cool. So we might get the odd stutter here because I notice our frames are quite heavy with this plane. I imagine it's to do with all the lighting, but as you can see, it should look pretty nice. And the ground textures here look fantastic as well. Real nice detail here at Exeter. We'll continue our taxi here. Drop a notch of flaps just for the sheer crack of it. Now, runway 26 is a fairly long runway. We don't need all of it. We have some aircraft following us out here in our taxi. Looks like a Q400. Nighttime flying, it's always fun to do it here in X-Plane. I don't know how well it appears on the stream or how well the graphics pick it up, but sure, look at trial and error. Runway ahead, so we'll see if we can bring back up our menu. So we can tell the tower we're holding short of runway 26. Clear for takeoff runway 26, climb runway heading after takeoff. That's fair enough. So we're not clear to the right, but they said we are, so we'll give it a bash. We'll make it a lively departure. So bring our mixture to full here. All our lights are set. We can activate our strobes once we get airborne. Okay. So quick check, lights set, flaps are set, and let's head on out. Airspeed is alive, power set. Bring our sounds down so you guys aren't completely and utterly deafened. Bring our flaps up here. So far so good. We're going to look here for a climb of about 600 feet per minute as we trim the aircraft out a little bit. Get ourselves back on course. We're just following the runway heading here. We'll make life a little bit easier. We're going to jump over to our autopilot now in a sec. So we're going to go heading mode, vertical speed, and keep that at 6. Bring our strobe lights on there now. All should be good. We'll be turning right here shortly. We'll go back on course. Keep an eye on our temperatures and pressures here. Lean our mixture just a smidge. You see the RPM here rising. Carb bead come on a small bit. Temperature's only about 2 degrees. So far, so good. These lights, we can switch them off now. It's great having these small little gizmos. Keeps you busy. So our lighting, we can bring this completely down. And we're just pretty much left with this, which in itself looks very impressive. It's all about getting the lighting done right. So we bring them up a small bit. That'll do. Okay, so we're going to make a right turn now. Climb rate so far so good. Keeping at 600 feet per minute. We're going to be looking for 6,000 feet. That is the plan. We can look back there and see that. Looks like the Q400 departing. Cool. Okay, further turn to the right now. So, quick check. Our flaps are retracted. Power setting is okay for the moment. Mixture is okay for the moment. Our altitude is looking good so far. Climb rate is okay. Temperatures and pressures are in the green. Take our strobe lights off as we start hitting the clouds. And we're now going to resume onto our nav course. So the flashing you get if you decided to turn your strobes on, you get a whole lot of flashing inside in the cockpit, which is not ideal. So a quick look at our map here. Have a 3-knot wind. Ground speed is quite slow. But then again, the aircraft is quite slow. Check our mixture here again. It's kind of the sweet spot there. Bring our RPM up to 25 there. Should give us a small bit of increase on our speed. We'll be breaking through the clouds soon enough. So with other bits and bobs here, we have our interior lights. It looks decent, alright. It's coming up here now on 4,000 feet. Temps and pressure seem okay. You have an option over here. It'll automatically switch the fuel selector for you. So we'll let the plane look after that for us. Nothing to see for the moment. If there will be, don't worry, we'll see plenty of lights. Starting to come through the clouds here now. You can faintly see them in the distance. Low and slow. That's what it's all about here, guys. Once we get to our altitude, we can let our speed climb up. The best we're going to get out of this, I think, is going to be about 110, if we're lucky. So, while we're en route here, We can go figure out what our waypoint information is going to be. And we're expecting ILS 30. 1070 is loaded into our nav switch here. But with this GTN, all you have to do is kind of click on it, whatever one you want. It'll then put it into your reserve. So we can always drop 110. Oh, they're the same. That's weird. But if you had multiple runways, you can select one in your nav 1, and as a backup you can have it on nav 2. Just makes life a little bit easier. So our plan, landing on runway 30, we'll be turning left on hotel and we're getting parking somewhere in here. We should be able to do it. Our approach comes in over the sea, but it should be fine. So coming up almost on 6,000 feet. We're above the clouds now. Get our strobes back on. Keeping an eye on our mixture here as well. So once we reached our desired altitude, we're just going to hit this altitude hold button here. And then we'll get our speed up. So we've set 6,000. Our speed is increasing. Our ETA to our destination is dropping rapidly. Our ground speed is starting to pick up a bit. Keep an eye on our RPM. It's at 2600 at the moment. We don't want that going past it. Not too bad. All the fuses are modelled here as well, which is pretty cool. If you want to be loading in some failures and having the general crack, that's where you want to be focusing on. Along with the Just Flight, this does come with a comprehensive checklist, including emergency procedures. Always good to have. You have a fairings menu here as well, but it's you won't see it as stark. This area ahead of us is called Taunton. Then we go to Bridgewater. I have to say, with Orbx, they've also enhanced an awful lot of the lighting. You should be able to see it there now. It looks very pretty. Let's watch our power setting here. Just a nice airplane. Nice and slow. But it's very well put together, and to see, you know, it's even from the yoke's perspective, you have this big pad thing here. Well, hey. Well, that works. But you can see just the modern touches, the materials, compared to, say, maybe the Warrior or the Arrow. So we can bring up our world traffic radar. Let's have a look at Cardiff. Quite enough, 20 nautical miles out from the airport. We go to 40 from here, a bit more traffic, and then 80. It's a whole lot of stuff moving. But at the moment it just has GA tipping around. You also have this storm scope thingy. Basically what it does, it identifies lightning in relation to your aircraft, and it works. You'll see like green X's appearing. But the weather is nice and calm for us here. We're fairly pushing this thing to the limit, but we're treating it as a new engine. It's fine. So I do hope you guys are keeping well. Our flight today is from Exeter, and we're heading over to Cardiff. The airport Exeter is brought to us from UK 2000. When I say it's brought from, or it's brought to us, that's where I bought it. But it's really good. It's great to see UK 2000 stuff porting over into X-Plane. And with Exeter, it works really well with Orbx. And the airport Cardiff, that's from Orbx. It's their own airport, and it's really nice. Superb. Protect your starter. So we can have a look at the flight computer. Outside air temperature is -4 degrees Celsius. Ground speed 121. It's 139 miles per hour. Endurance, we've got about 2 hours left. Our range, about 300 nautical miles. Our fuel flow is interesting. We've used about 5 gallons so far. We're using about 16-ish gallons an hour, or about 62 litres per hour. And depending on your currency, I know in Ireland, I think fuel for this machine is I think it's €1.10 per litre, or €1.20, I could be wrong, but it's in and around that. So about 70 quid an hour, give or take. The advantages of having a sim. Now, what we can do, we can remember our time here. So it's about 20 to 10 or 9:40. We'll scoot the time back because I want to show you the exterior of the aircraft. About there will do. So we'll jump outside and I'll show you guys around. It didn't seem to like that. Our frames are going berserk. Interesting. I wonder, is it because of world traffic? Shouldn't be. Try that again. One thing to notice there, when you do apply the fairings, it has an impact on the aircraft. They don't weigh much, they weigh a little bit, but it's more the drag it puts onto the aircraft itself. Anyway, that's what it looks like. We will cheat time. That's kind of roughly where we were. And we'll continue on. So if you guys haven't picked up this aircraft, or if you're on the fence about it and you were thinking, you know, here's another Piper, I have to say it's very good. It's very different. Like I've all them from Just Flight. I just like their aircraft. And I remember when the Arrow came out first, then we had the Turbo Arrow, then the Warrior, and they're all really, really good planes. They're fun to fly, and you know, they're slow. The Turbo Arrow was grand because it was a turbo. You can kind of push that thing on a bit. This is in and around the same speed as the Cherokee, give or take. A bit more power in this, but not so much as the Arrow, and it has fixed landing gear rather than retractable. But the interior in this is very different. As I was saying, it's more modern. All the gauges, the yokes, even the colour scheme, this kind of a salmon colour, if you're into it. But it is nice. And slightly different as well. So with this one, you have the option here. It's a clickable object to get rid of the fairings. On some of the other ones, if you zoom in, especially on the updated ones, if you zoom in on the registration number or your tail number, you can't do it on this one. When you click that, it changes the livery. You'll see an arrow appear like to the right or to the left. So if you have the Just Right stuff, check it out and it changes it. A little bit choppy with our frames here, but it's loading in some stuff. Get up close and personal to the gauges here. The layout in this, they're very similar to that of the Cessna. So as we are approaching our first waypoint, we're going to be making a left turn here. So you can see from our GTN, left turn in 3, 2, 1. And there's our left turn. So our plan here, we're going to start our descent. This will surely speed us along as well. Bring our power back just a small bit. So our plan is we want to break down through the clouds. We're about 10 minutes out. So let's see if we can load up an approach. Good, good. Bring our altitude down. Yeah, it's really choppy, isn't it? Don't know why that is. Doing 128 knots over the ground. Not too bad. Should be hitting the clouds very soon. Turn our strobes off. We got Cardiff over here. Beautiful. So we have the runway ahead of us. I'm trying to bring up the menu for world traffic, but it doesn't seem too interested. So we'll just continue on. We're going to descend here to 1,000 feet and just get ourselves lined up. Bring our fuel pumps back online. We're at 1,500. You can see some aircraft departing. You can enrich our mixture here as well. So our plan is hold 1,000 feet on our approach here. I'm surprised this menu isn't coming back, but sure, we won't need to worry about it. I'm sure it has its reasons. Two minutes out, start bringing our power back. We're going to keep an eye on our poppy lights here, looking for 2 white and 2 red. Once they start lighting up for us, we can adjust our pitch and get on the glide slope. Speed is coming back here nicely. There's our first white. There's our second white. Autopilot off my aircraft. Deploy our first notch of flaps. Second notch of flaps. A little bit high, we'll correct that. Speed is dropping off nicely. And we're taking the first exit on hotel. That's the plan anyway. Final Lots of flaps. Keep our speed here at 70. Plane, don't move. Mixture set to full. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. Lights are set. Tiny use of the rudder here just to keep us on that centre line. There's our lights illuminating the ground. We don't want to try not to float this one. There's our flare. Bring our power back. Watch for the stall. It's a bit of a float, but it's fine. Let's tap the brakes here. I'm going to make a left turn onto hotel. Nice and gentle. Start cleaning up, bring our flaps in. There's no taxi lights as such, it's just all the one light. Bring our fuel pumps off. Pitot can come off here now as well. Enter on in this way here. We're blinding everyone, but we don't care. Let's park it up here beside the Cessna. That should do us. Park and brake on. Bring strobe lights off. Landing lights off. Shalimar, thank you very much for the follow. It's yeah, easier said than done. Try hitting the numbers. And I've stutters on the scenery at the moment, but I suspect it's mainly to do with the aircraft. So a bit of tinkering with some of my settings, and that should sort it all out. So what we can try and do, make it daytime-ish. And I wonder will this work. So if I bring my avionics offline, cut the mixture, mags off, and battery off. So if we go into replay mode, will this work or will the whole thing crash? We shall see. So roll it back here a small bit. Oh, keeps it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, not to worry. We'll watch this as it is though. This will be interesting if this works. Bear with me. Not too bad. Let's bring it in from here, we'd say. Shalimar says, it's nice to see something besides an airliner. I couldn't agree with you more, and I hope I'm saying your name right, dude. But I have a sneaky suspicion there is a reason why people don't stream nighttime flights. Because you can't see much. But they're always fun to do. A little float, but nothing to get upset about. Let's try one more view. I wonder, can I turn on more lights here now? Oh, I can. Yes. Okay, we'll go for kind of a angle-ish like that. What do you reckon, guys? I suspect that sound shouldn't be there, but it's fine. We'll work it. It's a really creaky plane. Well, at least we kept it on the center line. That's always a good thing, isn't it? Have we got like a better view? Ish, kind of, almost. Let's go up here. This could look absolutely crap, but sure, we'll give it a shot. We're lighting up the ground anyway. not too bad. I've never recorded that before. So we're back over here in the somewhat kind of daylight. We can turn all this good stuff off. So that's kind of it in a nutshell there, guys. So battery off. Yeah, battery's off. So thanks very much for joining me, guys. It's only a short stream there tonight. I was going to do the flight anyway, and I said I might as well just turn on the OBS. So why won't it do that now? There we go. So from Just Flight, the Archer 3, it's a new enough plane, and it only got a new update the other day. As always, thanks everyone for stopping by. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you've any comments, questions or opinions, feel free to leave them in the section below. I do read them. Until next time, guys, look after yourselves, and I'll see you real soon.